Dive on him.
This is twice now the Celtics have been first to the floor at 8 seconds.
Save with Horford. Unbelievable. Boston first to the floor. So good. Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Tatum dives on the floor. Everybody dives. Jaylen Brown with the flush. Blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Tatum spinning, driving, laying. Washington drives. Blocked by White. Oh, what a block from Derek White.
Wayne Spooty here for First to the Floor, and I'm here with my guy, Jake Eisenberg. And Jake, I just want to be the first person to congratulate you on this new gig. If you didn't hear, Jake is now the, I guess, official spiritual advisor to the Boston Celtics. You can see him here in his work outfit there. So it's just a beautiful picture. And I mean, no better candidate for the position, Jake. So how you doing, buddy? Proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. Finally found my calling as spiritual advisor to the Boston Celtics, Brad Stevens. I mean, long time coming, I think, really.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, definitely playing hurt. If you saw that on the screen, I had a bachelor party yesterday where we got placed into different phases of my friend's life, and he had a conspiracy theory tinfoil hat phase, and I went dressed as the grassy knoll, which is where I just wore a green sheet, which meant it ended up having me look like a green, well, a monk with a green instead of an orange. So beautiful. It was a big day though. Started at like 9 a.m. home at midnight, and the groom, so we went pub crawl, and then the last pub we were going from there to karaoke classic, and last pub about to go to karaoke, groom's coming down the stairs, last step about to leave the pub, trips, falls, smashes his face on the ground, broken nose, blood everywhere, hospital.
Shit,
disaster.
Dude. When's the wedding?
We have about a week from now. So
she's gonna murder him.
Yeah.
Or
he was like, yes, they are gonna murder him.
Yeah.
It was really funny too, because like the girls had the bachelorette party at the same time, and they were all like on a boat, and we knew like they were getting off the boat at 11 p.m. and we all started getting messages being like, "What are you guys? We'll meet you guys out."
Funny
and
story.
we're like, "Oh, what do we do?" And then someone's like, "Did something happen to Harry?" And like, "Oh, there's been a leak. They know." Oh man. And so,
how did Woj get this one?
yeah, Shams. Yeah, Bernie Lee calling out Shams. But yeah, so apparently he's turned out not too bad today.
That's good.
But
good.
Yeah, not ideal. And there's been accusations that I had something to do with this because I purchased him the last 2 fireball shots. But
you? That's shocking.
Yeah, I know.
Having spent a couple days in Vegas with you, yeah.
Exactly. But got home, and then this morning it was great. I haven't done this all season really, but like I knew the score of the game, and then I watched it on delay, and I was like, this is so perfect. I'm in a fragile state, and the Celtics really delivered. Like
they did
one of the good vibes games of the season.
Yeah, maybe their best performance of the year. Just I think from being like locked in on both ends of the ball, from the first minute till even the end of the game. Even the Stay Ready crew was like balling on people. Drew Peterson's hitting like one dribble pull-ups against guys. 142, 105, just like an absolute domination from basically tip off until the end of the game. It felt they needed this, man. And like, look, they haven't lost 3 games in a row since 2021. That's absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, Jake, this is like the perfect game to be extremely hungover and watch.
Yes.
What's your big takeaway from this one, other than, hey, everybody calm the fuck down. This isn't that bad.
Yeah, and like I actually wrote about Celtics and losing streaks on Celtics blogs. If you want to go check that out, like the Celtics had 4 separate 2-game losing streaks last season, and this is their first 2-game losing streak of the season. And that's kind of been the secret of, and like one of the staples of this team, as you said, going all the way back now to like that to that 22 finals run. The only time they lost multiple games in a row happened to come when they lost 3 in a row to the Golden State Warriors in the finals, sadly. But yeah.
No, I think that was a regular season stat. And I saw it on Reddit, and that might not be true. But regardless, they did not lose. They haven't lost 3 games in a row in the regular season since 21, I think.
Yes.
And again, I got it from a random person on Reddit, so who knows? But they didn't lose 3 games in a row last year. So we're at a year and a half at the very least that I can attest to. So because they lost 3 in a row to the Heat in 2023.
Correct. So those are the two very, very painful losing streaks that occurred. But it is a staple of this team. They don't let things spiral and get out of control. And this was, both ends. And you say the Celtics needed it. I'm not sure anyone on the team needed it more than Jaylen Brown. And he delivered one of the most insane performances you'll see from any player in the NBA, not just, fringe all NBA type of guys, but it was across the board. Like, you turn this game on, you're like, who is this guy? Is this the reincarnation of MJ? Like, obviously, he had the stretch where he has like the half poster on Halliburton, gets another steal, has the windmill. So that was obviously like, and he did like the fake, I'm going to slit the throat celebration. And he's like,
that was amazing. Yeah.
Like, it was just a very cool performance, but defensively, he was locked in. So obviously the big loud plays he had 4 steals, but he was playing really well on the perimeter. I thought some really nice contests on like Mathurin and stuff like that. I think the team is just completely different when Jaylen Brown's playing that type of defense. And I said this after the Sixers game, like, obviously, you don't want the offensive performance Jaylen Brown put out there in the Sixers game, and like he hasn't been quite as efficient this year. But I can kind of live with the way he's been playing offensively. Like, process-wise, we've talked about how the playmaking's been better out of the post and stuff like that. It's the defense that hasn't been there consistently this season, and when he in particular plays like this, I think it like trickles down throughout the team. I think Tatum's been playing well defensively, but when Jaylen's playing like this, you've got like a 6'7" wrecking ball out there, and you've really felt it in yesterday's game.
Yeah, and part of it is like the threes finally started going in too, because I feel like process-wise, I haven't hated how Jaylen's been playing recently. He just can't make fucking shots, and I think that trickles into his defense. I think he gets frustrated, and then he loses concentration, and that's when you see him lag a step behind on the defensive side of the ball. Because like we've had a few games here in a row where like, hey, when he went to the rim, he went strong. He was getting there. He was getting fouled. Like he was putting his shoulder into people. But man, with the shot falling like that, and yeah, you're right. Like this is his best defensive game of the year. I feel like last year he had a great defensive year. I feel like this season's been pretty hit or miss for him. The on-ball defense has been there, I think, for the most part. But he's had some bad habits. I remember a couple backdoors in the beginning of the season or parts of this season, and we talked about a lot like that just didn't happen to him last year all of a sudden. So this was a ridiculous performance. I mean, he basically did it all offensively. Like the midi was there, getting to the rim, destroying in transition, absolutely unstoppable. This is a good matchup for him because both the Jays do not respect Miles Turner as a rim protector. Like he blocks shots, I get he's a decent rim protector, not against these dudes. They're just too athletic and too skilled for Miles Turner to have anything for them. And without Nesmith, who is like their only solid wing defender, it's just like everybody is food. And I was really trying to pay attention to Halliburton defensively yesterday, and my God, is he bad. It is so bad, man. Like at one point, Payton Pritchard posted him up and put him into the basket. And then you're like having him switch on to Jaylen Brown and like, yeah, no shit. He had 44 points. You're trying to defend him with this dude. So, JB needed it. He was a game high plus 32, which I think was representative of how like
outrageous.
Yeah. Like how awesome he was on both ends of the floor. And I feel like Jaylen's a pretty streaky guy, so I wouldn't be shocked if he like keeps this rolling and is just going to rip off a ridiculous stretch.
Well, I've been trying to will into existence that Jaylen's positive regression from a shooting efficiency standpoint comes like right now, because we've got Pacers, Raptors, and then it's that stretch we've been talking about.
Yeah,
it's
West Coast.
Timberwolves and a back-to-back against the Rockets, both on the road against Thunder, road against the Nuggets, 4-game road trip, which is like a pretty hellish stretch there. And if Jaylen Brown can like get back to playing like his normal level of efficiency, And if it comes in bunches right now, that would be really, really good timing because those games are going to be tough and it's going to be fun. I'm like excited for some good games. But yeah, the Pacers are a great get-right spot for Jaylen Brown. And great point on Neesmith not being there. Like, yeah, Jaylen Brown played pretty well against the Pacers the last time we kind of saw them, in the conference finals, obviously, right? Like Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He was pretty fucking good in that series. So it would be very appreciated if the Pacers were the team to kickstart Jaylen Brown's season for us.
Yeah, dude. And like, hey, thank you, Indiana. And if like he is like the lawnmower that's old, even though he's not an old player, but sometimes it just takes a couple pulls of that starter to get it going. But once it's going, it runs very smoothly. So I think we pulled the starter. I think the bad boy turned over. We had to choke it a little bit, but we're fucking cruising now, man. That grass is getting pulverized. I think we have to go to Jordan Walsh next. This was Walshy's best game of his career. I thought he was really impactful on the defensive end and on the glass. Like, he's a maniacal rebounder in like the best way. Still fouls a little bit too much for my taste, but he looked like totally confident. I checked on cleaning the glass because I wanted to see what his advanced stats were with garbage time filtered out. He leads the team in on-off differential without his garbage time minutes. He's a plus 9.9, Tatum second at plus 5.7. And I just felt like this is the first game where it seemed like he truly belonged. And there was one play, he actually turns it over, but this was the play where I was like, okay, Jordan, you're starting to figure it out. He's just driving a closeout, gets by two dudes, and tries to hit Cornette with this like little underhand shovel pass. It's not really there. I mean, it kind of is. It is there for a second.
Luke could have handled it.
Luke could have caught it. He probably should have just flipped up the reverse because I think he didn't realize how open he was. But like, that's a confident drive into traffic. He makes the right read and basically makes the play. And I'm like, okay. And he made some threes, which absolutely helps with the confidence too.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan. It was lovely sitting down this afternoon. And Mike's like, I knew what happened. And Dad was like, your guy Walsh had a game today. Yeah, man, he had my favorite play. Like, dude, he crosses up. Who did he cross up? I've got the play up in front of me here, but he crosses up number 8 for the Pacers and gets to the rim. Help comes and he kicks it out to Tilt. Dude, he straight up he kind of looks like Jason Tatum a little bit.
Yeah,
I know Greeny's been on this, but and a lot of like, obviously that's ridiculous to even say, but it was a beautiful play. He had another play. He hit Nemi on the short roll as well. Obviously, like hitting the 2 threes is great, but like I don't even care about that really. Like obviously you want the threes to go in. If he can just be like 30%, I don't even need you to be at 36. Take the open ones, but like drive these closeouts and be aggressive because that's a part of the game that we've really liked of his is like we think that he has nice feel and good IQ. Like he knows how to like make the right reads and he's athletic enough to beat guys off the dribble, take advantage of the manipulated defenses that Tatum and Jaylen and these guys are creating. And that's what we saw today, or yesterday, I should say. It feels like today because I just watched it. But like that's the part that like really gets me going. That's the part that I'm like, okay, he fits. Like even so, garbage time, he's played 182 total minutes this season. The Celtics are a 7.74 in those minutes. And then if I filter out low leverage moments on PBP stats, I think that's gets out garbage time. He actually has there's a 17.88 net rating with him on the court in 108 minutes. So it's not nothing. And we saw it with Brissett last year, right? Like I've seen some people being like, he can't be a 0 on offense. One, I don't think he is a 0 on offense. One, he can make the right reads. He's going to take his open shots. And he's going to give you some offensive rebounds. And we saw with Brissett last year, I looked in non-garbage time minutes, the Celtics had like 124 offensive rating with Brissett on the court last year. Like, you just don't, when there's so much offensive talent surrounding someone, like you can have one guy out there, especially in the regular season, where teams aren't like game planning, really specifically for one guy that has a weakness on one end. You can totally get away with it in the regular season. You add that to the Hauser injury stuff, plus just like, it's good for the long-term health of this roster. If we can find a guy, hey, maybe it doesn't work, but it feels really silly to me to not be playing Jordan Walsh in this regular season where it's like, we're defending a title. We actually have the chip. Let's try and focus on trying to develop Jordan Walsh. Maybe it goes badly, but like we've seen enough flashes now that it's like, okay, can we at least just give him a try, get him some consistent run.
There is a thing to be said, especially in some of these like average games in the middle of the season of a long regular season, where it's like just having energy and having a dude who's going to play 15 minutes at 110% for the entire time can like win you possessions and win you stretches. And that was Brissett's like main superpower last year, is that like he just came out and absolutely went insane every time he was on the court. And Jake, you froze for me there. I think you're back now. Okay, cool. And like, I think that's important to have those types of dudes on the roster. And like Walshy's floor is that guy. Like he's going to execute the defense. I think he's confident enough in the defensive principles. Oh,
Sorry, bro. I'm trying to get the podcast layout back.
There we go.
I might not be able to see it just because I'm having a little.
I can see it.
All right.
Okay.
All right. That's a me problem then.
Yeah. Anyway, I think he's like he's feeling confident enough in the defensive principles that he's going to execute defensively. He's not going to be a negative on that end. Anything he gives you on the offensive side of the ball is a bonus. And he's 20 and really is showing some flashes of, hey, he could be a super interesting player for you. So there's just no reason not to keep playing him at this point. Even if it's like, hey, maybe he doesn't play in the Timberwolves game or against the Nuggets or something like that. But against like 25 of the teams, he should actually absolutely be playing 10 to 15 minutes. If it's got to come from the Jays, all right, fine. Like they need rest. Like we don't want to rack up minutes on those guys. Maybe it's until Hauser finds a shot, which is a little frustrating, but which is also not a big deal. And no one should be freaking out about Sam Hauser. But, and like just energy is a skill. It's valuable. He's got it. And he's got upside to be a lot more. So those are the exact types of guys you want to be trying out in a long regular season like this.
I love it, dude. And a comment from Chemical Happy in the chat here. The other Celtics pods apparently were mentioning first the floor as being happy about Walsh's performance. We are the number one Jordan Walsh podcast in the world. So like that, realistically, Jordan Walsh should be gracing us with his presence at some point, because like no one's been waving the Jordan Walsh flag more than first the floor. And obviously, we were just like, we drafted him, but he showed flashes immediately at that first summer league. That's why I want to see him play more, because like I think a lot of it's just confidence, and I want to start to see some of the athleticism pop a little bit more, because we know he's got it, dude. You see the fucking windmill alley-oops he throws down in in the warm-ups, and with the offensive rebounding and the defensive rebounding, like he gets up there, and with those long arms, it's very impactful. So, and that's the Brissett role. That's all Brissett did. Just play hard and be athletic and shoot open shots, and we're good to go.
Yeah, you're going to have a decent NBA career if you can do that. Although Brissett's not in the NBA, so maybe not. He will. I think he will be before the season's over, though. I think we can probably hit Tatum really quick. This was just like Tatum saw Jaylen had it going and basically turned into Scottie Pippen, where he's just like moving the ball. He was amazing defensively. I posted a couple clips of him defensively from this game, where he's just like switching on to 3 or 4 different players, locking them all up and like ending up with a steal or a rebound. He had this one insane contest where he's like fighting over a screen when he's on Halliburton, and he's like getting around the screen and jumps and contests Halliburton from like 4 feet away and forces an air ball. And it's just like ridiculous, banana, elite defensive stuff. Plus he's basically like running point guard and starting all of our actions, and had 13 rebounds. He was a monster, just like a professional. 3 steals himself. The Jays had 7 combined, which is nuts. Just like kind of got out of the way a little bit, which I think is like more evidence of he just wants to win. This is the exact type of mindset of like, that's what you want from your best player.
Yeah, dude, he's legitimately happy to see Jaylen Brown and his teammates succeed. Like we talked about that the last time we potted, right? Like we ran that clip about the MVP, and I mean, Tatum gets torn to shreds anytime he says anything, but like, because he was saying that I'm not going to put up the same numbers as these other stars. And it's like, that's just true. I tweeted out like all the usage, the field goal percent, like attempts and stuff. Like it's not significant, but he has the lowest usage of the top 5 guys. He has the lowest field goal attempts of all the top 5 guys. And he's happy to see Jaylen Brown play the way that he did last night. Got out of the way, and like internet trolls are going to use this as, a weapon against Tatum to call him a quote unquote role player. But like having a superstar that's actually happy for their teammates, empowers their teammates, and actually wants to do the dirty work. It's been funny, like the Celtics defense, cat alert, bingo. Like the Celtics defense has been, slipping in clutch time a little bit as well. Like statistically, they're still been good, but like in the Sixers game, like they couldn't get stops. Tatum has actually not been the problem at all. He's been really good both defensively and just like completely wiping the glass. Last 10 games, he's averaging 12.6 rebounds. It's just like that's nutty stuff for you. It's like, why have the Celtics been top 5 or top 10 in defensive rebounding for the past like 5 years? It's because their wing point guard is cleaning the defensive glass for the team.
Yeah, and post by Brad Stevens on Reddit. So Tatum, since the Hawks game, Tatum's second in the league in defensive rebounds per game, and he's got a 30.1 defensive rebounding percentage. The last league leader, so like 25 usually leads the league, and he's at 30 right now. So he's absolutely dominating on the defensive glass. And is every one of his rebounds a contested difficult rebound? Certainly not. But
no one's is.
Yeah, exactly. But you also just want the mindset of like,
yes,
the ball is there, I'm going to go get it. And then he has like, it's dumb, but he has like clutch rebounds that he has like in crunch time. We get a stop. How many times, especially in years past, have we seen the Celtics give up huge offensive rebounds? Tatum has really done a job where it's like, I'm getting to these boards. And I love when he does like the rise up and like smash it with
awesome.
He like one hands it and then smashes it with the offhand. I was like, oh, he's going to dribble the shit out of this ball on the way up the court. And we're probably going to get a good shot out of it too. He's locked in. So
I love it, dude. That's like, you know it. He gets up there. Oh, man, gets me. That is some sicko Celtic stuff. I love the way that Tatum, when he slaps the shit out of that ball.
But you know exactly what I mean. And then he dribbles it super fucking hard up the other way. But yeah, I don't think there's like a ton to say about Tatum's game other than he was just like, he was kind of like an elite, super elite role player that game. And that's exactly what we needed. And the fact he's that malleable is why he's so valuable and one of the best players in the NBA. I think we got to talk about Payton Pritchard, right? He almost had a fucking triple double.
We should do an ad read probably first.
Oh yes. Yeah. Let me hit game time here really quick. Okay, game time. One of my best friend's birthdays a few days after Christmas. So when I was back from law school and back when IT ruled the garden, me, him, and 2 other friends decided to go catch the little guy light it up. We got to watch him hang 52 on the Miami Heat and just, enjoy being buddies. Game time is focused on togetherness this holiday season. That means when you bring people together at live events, the experience is that much better, and it's the perfect gift. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. WVU, the Mountaineers, they're 9-2. Rank us, you cowards. Big season. Big 12 play starts on Tuesday against Kansas, number 7. I'm a little terrified, but the best way to get me to the Coliseum for that game is via Game Time. You just hop on the app, search for a game or team you're looking for. It's very easy. You get shown all the available tickets and all the best deals right on your phone. The curated deals make it even easier to find the best seats at the best prices. And maybe my favorite feature is the seat view. It shows you exactly what it looks like from any seat before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. What time is it? Game time. Woo. I really butchered the end of that read. I'm sorry, Game Time. We love you. I use you all the time.
Yeah.
Go, Game Time. Go.
We do love Game Time. It's fantastic.
All right. Payton Pritchard. Go for it, Jake.
He's just cooking, man. Like this, it is kind of crazy. Like we always kind of like laughed about how he like dominates in garbage time and preseason and stuff like that. But it's very clear now that he is a level above like whatever group of NBA players that is, right? Like, and he's graduated past like they left him in just enough to protect the net rating, which I really appreciated, and obviously to kind of try and I think maybe chase that triple double a little bit. But dude, 5 offensive rebounds, and
I know.
And Drew Carter's been on it on the broadcast too, like just talking about how he has a nose for the ball. He just does. And like obviously the scoring is like the story of his season, and the fact that he's like at the top of the NBA in total 3-pointers made despite coming off the bench and playing like 26 minutes a night is like just truly, truly insane stuff. But yeah, man, he had a really nice pass to Jaylen Brown. Like it wasn't even off an action really. He just kind of saw Jaylen had the small defender on him and just like threw it like, you know, like a receiver, put it only where, you know, Jaylen could go at it, go up and get it. Be like, I always imagine, you know, if him and Drake May would make sweet music together. But it's much better that Jaylen plays for the Celtics. But yeah, man, just simple plays like that. Pritchard doing that all night long. Man, the fact that he can pull these numbers off that he was pulling off in like Mickey Mouse March against like nobodies. The fact that he's now doing this because he had like a 30-point triple double, I think at the end of last season, and it's like, you know, classic Pritchard. But now he's doing it in real games. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's really nuts. I feel like he used to never hit the roll man either on pick and rolls. It was either like, I'm going to take the pull up behind the screen, or I'm just going to swing the ball and hope somebody else can hit the roll man late or something. But he's been finding Luke a ton on for alley oops, and he's gotten like way better at reading the low man defensively and just throwing the pass. Like I feel like his passing is just more accurate now. And for the rebounding, like I feel like nobody on this team plays more basketball than Payton Pritchard. I think there's something to be said. Like if you just play that much fucking basketball, you just like, hey, I know where that miss is going because I've seen someone miss a shot like that 3,000 times. So I don't know. I'm probably making that up entirely, but
he's just baby Dennis Rodman is what you're telling me.
Yeah, basically, yeah. With less trips to Vegas mid-season, or that we know of. But yeah, man, he's just become, I mean, like I didn't expect the playmaking to turn into like a weapon for him ever. I expected it to always be like, hey, if the pick and pop's there with Al Horford, he'll hit the pass, but he's like passing dudes open. And you're right. Like that one pass to Jaylen, it just shows such an understanding and recognition of like the floor balance, and you've got a cross match and semi transition. And that comes with confidence, I think, a lot of times for guys. And Pritchard is like brimming with confidence at this point. So like the shots started going in really, really often. And then we're seeing like the rest of his game catch up to him. And I'm telling you, man, look for that post up he had on Halliburton. He misses the layup and then I think rebounds it over Halliburton and makes the buries the putback. And like Halliburton had nothing for him despite being 6 inches taller. So I'll post it on Twitter after we're done. But it's he's posting dudes up. Like it's ridiculous. Like who is this guy?
It actually annoys me that Halliburton's so bad on defense.
Me too.
Look at the flip side. Like look at Payton Pritchard, man. And he's clearly worked on his body too. He's clearly gotten a lot stronger since coming into the league as well. Like he is the example you point to for why it's bullshit that Trae Young and Halliburton are that bad at defense. Like it's embarrassing, dude. You want to be a superstar, do all the offensive shit, awesome. Like you're just capping your team's ceiling. Like I mean, the Hawks actually not smoked the Heat, but And Trae, I have seen he's actually been trying more on defense, but it's like, it's not just the trying on defense. It's like, why are you guys still so skinny, dude?
Yeah.
Do some fucking deadlifts and bench press, bro. Like, look at Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and like the entire Celtics team that's like clearly focused on the physical aspect. And like if you're going to be small, you have to maximize. Like Chris Paul's another example too. And like maybe there's a little bit of like body genetics. Like I think Pritchard's a little sturdier, stockier, similar to Chris Paul. Like Kyle Lowry's obviously like, you know,
the stockiest.
Yeah. Like, like Marcus Smart. And those guys are taller a little bit as well. But like there's a wide gap between how strong and capable Halliburton and Trae Young are as defenders and like Kyle Lowry and Chris Paul. Like you can be so much, you could be in the middle of that spectrum and you'd be helping your team so much more. And the fact that Pritchard like clearly values that and like works at it is like, it's a huge credit to him, but it's just a valuable piece. He can actually like hold his own a lot of the time.
Yeah, for sure. And like Halliburton, his defensive stance is like so upright, and he's like off balance the second he's like defending you, and that is not a great place to start against NBA players. It's not a great place to start against middle schoolers, never mind NBA players. And like that's fixable, man. That's just about like, do you have like a strong enough core and like have the hamstring flexibility and like basically give a shit enough to be able to get down in a stance and play like that for 35 minutes a game. Some dudes do. I'm not sure Halliburton does. He should not be this bad. Like there's just no excuse. He's 6'6". You know what I mean? Like at Iowa State, people were like lauding his defense.
Yeah.
I think it was mostly he tricked people because he got a lot of steals in college, but he should be at least okay. At least as a help defender. He's got the perfect profile for a help defender, and he's not even good at that. So it's just bizarre. And like, hey man, they're struggling this year. Like they are coming off the Eastern Conference Finals. This has been a really disappointing year for them. And Hallie hasn't looked right all season. I think he's been playing a lot better offensively recently, but it's really hard to win at a high level when your best player doesn't defend. And I feel like I like Halliburton a lot. He's got to fix that, man. It's like get stronger, like just try more, as dumb as that sounds. Like, and I don't just mean when you're on the court. I mean, off the court too. Focus on defense a little bit more. But anyway, that tirade over. I thought, go ahead. Yeah, please.
On Pritchard, because in the Sixers game, he struggled a lot. And we've been pretty reliant on Pritchard, which I don't know if reliant is the right word, but he's been like a big key to their success this season. Like he's pulled them out of like some tough spots. And like I still worry at the highest level. Like, is he going to be able to be as effective offensively? Like you kind of saw in the Sixers game. But at the same time, that's just kind of like, that's just how role players go. Like they're not going to be as consistent as the Jason Tatums, the Al Horfords of the world. So like I'm not necessarily don't think he can do this in the finals or against whoever, but I do think that like expecting him to do it every night against high quality opponents, like there could be a playoff series where it's like, oh, it might be time to put Pritchard on the bench a little bit. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think it's fair not to expect him to be amazing every night. Even the stars have off nights, but like Pritchard will have a stretch. He has kind of cooled off some lately, and it was not just the Sixers game either. Like that's just gonna happen, man. It's the ebbs and flows of the season, especially for bench players, dudes who are not stars. That is the difference. Like Tony Delk dropped 50 in a game. Like everybody in the NBA is extraordinarily talented. It's the stars are the guys who can keep that level of production up over an entire season into the playoffs. Like Pritchard is just not that level of player. He will probably never be that level of player. But the fact that his peaks are so high and his valleys are not all that low anymore, that's what makes him so valuable for us, because when he's peaking, we're all peaking. We're all peaking together. And Jake's in the middle in his outfit from this weekend, just leading us along. So I as
fast BP explodes all over us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a beautiful image we've conjured up here. But I think the biggest thing for Pritchard for me is that I feel like he's raised his floor by becoming a better defender. He doesn't hurt you being out there if he's not going offensively anymore. And I think that's really important for maintaining his play time, because even if he's not going, I think he should just play a lot in the regular season, especially. And I think he's going to have to play in the playoffs. I don't know, man. We'll come to that bridge when we get to it, but I feel like he's going to play more of these playoffs than he did last year. Certainly. Like, I'm just not sure Drew can handle 35 minutes a night anymore.
Yeah, well, that actually is like, I don't know if you had anything more specific on like this game that you wanted to get to, but like,
no, we can. But
like Hauser, right? So not a great. He had two really nice, like the two shots that he did make were like pump fakes, drives, little Sam Mello action, which were really nice. Like didn't hit a three. Obviously, he's like in and out with this back thing. Had the adductor, like he's And like so like the talk has been the Celtics are struggling. They were 5-5 in their last 10. I guess now they're 6-5 in their last 11. Like it hasn't been an awesome stretch for the Celtics, obviously. But like you start looking at the health of the team. So Hauser's missed 7 games now. That's 22% of the season.
Yeah.
Drew's missed 5. That's 16% of the season. And KP's missed 20. So like he's essentially just not been there. Like he's missed 65% of the season. And now since he has been there, it's like at least 3 of the 11 games that he's played, which is like 11 games is nothing. He's gotten injured in those games.
Yeah.
So you take that all the way down to 8. So Drew, KP, and Hauser have all missed like pretty big chunks. Even Jaylen's missed at least 4 games as well, right? And Derek's missed 1 or 2. Tatum's missed 2.
Horford doesn't play back-to-backs.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man.
So this team hasn't been healthy, really. And like the fact that they've maintained this, you add the health concerns, you add the championship, like, I don't know if you want to call it hangover, but you're just not going to go pedal to the metal, and you shouldn't go pedal to the metal after playing into June. Like, it's going to be like this, I think, the ebbs and the flows, but that goes back to what you're saying about Pritchard. It's just like, we're going to have to play him more. It goes back to what we're saying about Walsh. It's like, I think we might just have to accept that the 1 seeds, but I don't like, it's not off the table because like it wouldn't stun me if this team went on like a 20-game winning streak or like won 18 of 20 or something like that. It wouldn't surprise me, but like they kind of shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, they need to like keep their foot off the gas. And then I have a KP question for you, but like play the younger guys, play Walsh. He might answer your question about, do you need to trade for a wing? Play Pritchard more, take some of the load off Drew. Like, is this shoulder impingement thing actually real? Or are they just like getting Drew some extra rest? Regardless, it's like, it's probably good that he's not playing right now because I think you could be right. It's like, it wouldn't be stunning if Drew Holiday was like 90% of what he was in last year's playoffs, which is still really good, but not as good as he was last year.
Yeah, and you were on it, Jake. I think you were really highlighting like Drew was our 3rd highest minutes total last year, I'm pretty sure. He's just not, just don't think he's that guy anymore. And that's okay. Like he's going to be awesome in 29, 25 minutes a night going forward. But that means somebody's got to play those 10 minutes, And I mean, that guy has got to be Payton Pritchard. I just think we need his ball handling. Like Hauser's great. I'm not worried about Hauser. We should not be worried about Hauser unless the back stuff is real. Yeah. But if Hauser gets healthy and is healthy and stays healthy, like he's going to be good. He's going to be fine. But we need ball handling off the bench, and there's literally nobody else, even from like the Walsh and Drew Peterson, who I really like and I'm writing about right now. Those guys are not ball handlers. Peterson has a little bit of that, but he's more of a tertiary, can run a secondary action type of guy, not like a, hey man, get us into our offense type of guy. And Pritchard has turned himself into a dude who can do a pretty decent job of like being your primary ball handler for 5-minute stretches here and there. So I don't know where this is going, but it's a great point about the injuries and another reason why we shouldn't be worried about this team. But I do kind of think the 1st seed's off the table at this point. I mean, unless Cleveland starts getting hit with injuries, but they're clearly not gunning for like 60+ wins. I think we settle in at high 50s. I think that's easily enough for the 2 seed. Although the East is all playing a lot better right now, especially the Knicks.
Tracking the Wizards they're kind of choked. They were up 9 a second ago on the Knicks here. I was like, oh, that would be nice because the Knicks are only like 2 games behind the C's right now.
Yeah. But even if we're the 3 seed, I don't think that matters really. I mean, we're going to be top 3 most likely. And I'm not afraid of this team having to go on the road to Cleveland or something like that. So, like long-term health is the goal. That is the number 1 goal. That's why I said, don't play Kristaps Porzingis until the playoffs. Why didn't you listen to me, Joe? That should be our number 1 thing. Him and Al Horford shouldn't play a minute until the playoffs now.
Horford, man, I just had
so
another
good.
like I was like, how is he still doing this, man? He was great.
He was so fucking awesome defensively last night, man. He was like blocking 3-point shots. He like forced 3 air balls with crazy good contests out on switches. Like it doesn't make sense. He's 38.
I didn't get to talk to you after the Sixers game, but he was incredible again.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Like he just can't leave. And I'm like, I'm not sure why he would. We don't have to do a full Al Horford thing, but it's like I just had like another moment today where I was just like, this guy, man, how lucky are we to have this guy on the Boston Celtics? So on the health stuff,
Yeah.
I don't know where you are on Kristaps right now, but like, what are the chances he's like healthy, man? Like it's a bad run right now. Maybe he like gets it together and like strings some games together. Like that's what's funny is like last year he played 57 regular season. He came to the playoffs healthy, and then since then he's really struggled. He played 65 games with the Wizards the year before. Like he can string it together.
Yeah.
But like I'm at the point now where if he was to play more than half of the playoff games, I'd be surprised.
Yeah. Okay. Before I answer, we should probably get the game time read going.
Picks,
so let me cue that up for you, and then I'll give you. This is a teaser in the biz, baby.
There we go.
All right. Yeah.
Prize Picks though, not game time.
Oh, yep. Sorry. There we go.
All right. Prize Picks times, baby. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best way to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Pickmas. Prize Picks offers weekly promotions that can lead up to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. Look, we've been riding Pritchard. I think it's time we pivot and we ride Jason Tatum rebounds. Just go more on the Tatum rebound line. Like as we said, he's averaging nearly 13 rebounds a game over his last 10. Like he's just cleaning the glass. So ride that one. That's the pivot for our Prize Picks. And so download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. All right.
Prize Picks. Yeah, it's a way to just make the games a little more fun, more or less on stats, very easy to use. KP, I'm with you, man. I'm circling the drain a little bit on my my enthusiasm. That's not the right word, but my confidence that he will be available for any significant stretch of time, to the point where I'm kind of considering opening up the trade machine and seeing what's out there. Like, even if it's a downgrade talent wise, like just getting somebody who can start and be like a solid, like average level starter who plays all the time would be kind of a huge upgrade right now. And like KP's like advanced stats are trash this year. We're kind of getting killed in his minutes. I think that's probably mostly noise.
He's only played 8 games, really. So
right. Yeah. So it's tiny sample size. But the flip side is like, it's really hard to just like have a guy who has massive usage, who demands the ball, who you have to get the ball to, who's in and out of the lineup. It really kind of fucks with the flow of the offense in a lot of ways. And I said it, I think last time we recorded, like, I feel like they're forcing it to him in the high post sometimes, when I'd rather see them maybe like get downhill and get the drive and kick game going. So there's some bad vibes here. I'm trying not to overreact, even though it sounds like I'm very much overreacting. But the flip side is like, just let him get healthy, right? Like, you know, we don't need him, which is great, but I think we need him for this playoff run. I can't see us repeating without him is the problem.
Man, it's hard because like you just know when he's healthy and right and in a rhythm. Like this dude, I think he would be an all NBA player, man. Like if he had like no injury problems and he was just a guy that played 65 to 70 games a season, and he played like when he first came back, like that first Clippers game, like game 1 of the NBA Finals, you see what he does, right? Like it's a fucking one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. The defensive floor with him on the court is insane, and then offensively, I mean, he's like he's the original unicorn. We've covered it a million times. Like he's a complete game breaker. The problem is, it's like, is he going to be there? I have one trade I saw thrown out on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I saw Trey talking about it. Claxton, because the Nets, I think, elite rim protector, good rim protector, great lob threat, plays all the time. And I think in this defensive infrastructure, he would be elite defensively. And so you just have that, and then he's a great lob threat, and he plays all the time. And so it's
He's
just
switchable too.
Yeah.
Like he can switch, man. I hate big men who can't make free throws. That is like my one thing that like he can't play in the last 3 minutes of a close. He just cannot play.
we don't need him to play in the last 3 minutes of a close game. We have Al Horford for that.
I suppose that's. I mean, I'm thinking like if you're gonna move Kristaps, you need to find like the long-term solution to the Al Horford problem while you do it. And that was supposed to be KP.
Doesn't exist.
But there, I know there is
Doesn't
no
exist.
solution. It's
Well,
Anthony Davis.
The solution's literally Jason Tatum. Like
Yeah,
as he continues to get bigger and stronger, and he's like proved he can guard fives more and more, he's never going to be able to guard, the Embiids of the world, as well as Al Horford, or as well as like guard Giannis as well as Al Horford is. Thankfully, I don't think we're going to have to face that problem for another season after this. I don't know why Al would. I don't know why Al would retire. Really, like even talking about like his son clearly loves being around the Celtics, and it's like. That's become a big part of Horford's life. He's become he's like Deuce now. I saw Deuce and him playing 1v1 before the game. Like, what's the point of retiring, bro? Like, you've got 50 years to not play NBA basketball. But, like, seriously, though, just like, obviously, and firstly, please don't. Yeah. But, like, why would you? But I don't know. We'll have to do more of a deep dive. But, like, Onyeka Okongwu, is that an option? Probably not. Like the pickings are going to be limited because of, of the cap and stuff like that, but what is it? He makes 35 million or whatever it is, or 30
That's
million.
doable.
Yeah, so like you can. I like the Clax. I would look. We've got till March probably, but like.
I know
the Claxton one is really enticing because like defensively you're going to be a monster still, and then for the real minutes, like you could play with Al Horford probably.
Yeah.
And
Luke does.
Yeah, like he's fucking good defensively, and so
he is really good defensively. Yeah. He is.
I get it though. The free throws is brutal.
It's so brutal, man. I absolutely hate it. Like we've hacked him in games and just like go ahead, buddy. That is really painful for me.
50%. Hey,
that's horrible, Jake. That's 1 point per possession. That's awful. That's 100 offensive rating when he gets fouled. That's like that'd be that'd be like the best defense in the NBA or near it.
It's not good. It's not
okay,
good.
chemical hop. No spacing with Claxton. You do not need 5 guys who can shoot. Is it great? Is it amazing? Yes, but like we kill teams with Luke Cornett on the court, and like Claxton's a different offensive player from Luke, but he's an elite roll man. Like he can get up for lobs. Our offense would still be amazing with Claxton out there.
Rob Williams.
Unless they foul him, and then we're in trouble. But other than that, no. It's an intriguing one. Like I'd probably have to give it some thought. I think we should probably do a segment on that in the next couple of days here, especially if he doesn't come back and is still hurt, and see what's out. I don't think he has any trade value though, as part of the problem.
Well, no, you'd have to attach
a
pick. You have to attach a pick, but like that's a long-term solution to the problem. Because Claxton, I think, actually, I don't know what Claxton. Let me see, I've got it here. Yeah, he makes 24 million this year, so like that's. I mean, if you can make that work, you save $6 million in. He's
25.
He is. Well, the contract goes down too, so it's like it's 28 million this year, then 26, then 24, then 21.5. Like it's a pretty good contract. Like it's not taking up a ton of your cap, obviously.
How old? Yeah, he's 25 years old too. So.
Yeah, man. And what does he look like under the tutelage of Joe Mazzulla, Jason Tatum, and Al Horford? Like,
well, he would look awesome rolling off Tatum. I mean, there's every big man looks awesome, right? Exactly. So, it's an interesting one. I'm thinking. Never mind. I'm not gonna bring. I'll just say it so you can make fun of me. DeAndre Ayton.
Oh God.
There's something there, man. I can't quit. I can't quit DeAndre Ayton, Jake. He's got talent. He was the starting center on a finals team.
No. And he makes.
He doesn't even play.
I don't think we can make that work. I would think. I don't know if he
does. He make. I know he got that ridiculous contract, but I thought it was 33. Under the. Yeah, so that would work straight up.
Does Porzingis make 35? I thought Porzingis made
30, right?
Yeah. So.
So we can't take that back. Yeah, because of the second apron. So we can't even take 125% back. All right, never mind then. Yeah, man, this is going to be impossible to find a trade for him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just not guys.
And like this, like it's not. You don't have to make the deal this year. Like if Porzingis screws you over and isn't healthy in the playoffs, then you move him in the offseason. And it's probably easier to do it in the offseason anyway because there'll be more options and easier ways to make trades. But like someone that plays much better than someone that doesn't play.
Correct. Yeah.
Science.
It's yeah. I mean, it really is as simple as that, man. And like, man, it sucks though, because when he's flying and feeling good and playing well, we are unbeatable. I really like no one can beat us in 7 games if he's healthy. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the solution is like pray, see how it goes this playoffs. I also have a concern that like the playoffs are just kind of too physical for him to stay healthy.
Yeah. He's never done it before.
Right. Yeah. What did he play like 5 games one year for 2? Did he have like 7? Did he even, what was his highest games played for the Mavs? I'm trying to think.
He's played in 2 playoff series before.
Yeah.
Coming here, I'm pretty sure. And they both, and when he got injured, he like tore his meniscus in one of them, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And
one was a 5-game series, I think.
Yeah.
So like,
we have no idea. Yeah. That doesn't mean we don't know if he can, because it's like, he hasn't had a ton of chances, but like, he's had 3 playoff runs and he's gotten injured in 2 of the 3.
I do not love those odds. Yeah. So that's a very depressing note to leave this on. So some good news. Look, this has been a rough stretch for the Celtics.
Sure.
But when they crank it up, when they concentrate, when they bring it on both ends, like, even without KP, even without Drew Holiday, they made like a decent Indiana team get embarrassed, essentially. So I don't think there's really any long-term worry for this team at all, other than KP. Because I saw some takes, Jake. I saw some takes out there on Reddit and on Twitter about people being like, after the Sixers loss, yeah, man, of people being like, this team is not that good. They've gotten worse. Like, this is bad news. It's not. They're fine. We should all calm down.
I agree. But like, they probably will be a little bit worse.
Yeah, in the regular season, sure. Yeah.
And like, defending a title is hard. We've seen it a million times. Like, even like the KD Warriors, like the second like go round, like the first title that they won with KD, they lost, I think, 1 playoff game. And I think like the next year they went to 6 against like the Pat Beverly, Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell Clippers. Like, it will be more difficult to win the title the second time round. But like, what you lose, I mean, we didn't have KP the first time anyway, right? And we still kind of blew our way through the finals. Al Horford, you bake in like a 5 to 8% decline. Still probably good enough. But then you add in a 5 to 8% increase from Jason Tatum, which is probably the most important thing, because he's playing the best basketball of his career. He couldn't make a 3-point shot in the playoffs. If we get the 37, 38% playoff run from Tatum, which is just like more likely than not to happen, then that's going to make up for any of that other stuff. And then improvements from Pritchard, obviously Jaylen. Man, like, that's why you had to win that title last year.
Yeah.
Horford was getting old. Drew was like this, like, you just had to do it, and they got it, and they're still the favorites. And I would still pick them. I think most people would still pick them. But like, there's a reason that when you talk about teams that have won back-to-back titles, it's KD Warriors, it's Heatles, it's Kobe and Shaq Lakers. Tim Duncan and the Spurs never did it.
Yep. Yeah, man, it's extremely, extremely hard. Hasn't happened since that Warriors team. So tomorrow, Celtics, Pacers rematch. I imagine the Pacers will have a better showing tomorrow night.
I would think so.
Yeah, I wonder if Drew will play. I'm kind of interested to see what they're doing with him, how real that injury is. But doing play back tomorrow?
I'm not sure yet. Just with jumping around, and I'm at my parents' house this time. We were at the in-laws, if everyone's paying attention to my backgrounds at the last one. So, just a lot going on this time of year. But just keep your eyes posted for on our different channels and whatnot for what's happening. But me and Ben will do some post-game show stuff tomorrow after the game, and we'll see on the playback.
All right. Sounds good. We are going to leave it at that. Jake, buddy, fun as always. And we are out. Peace.